Okay, welcome to part 2. We will next go on to the emulator known as Master Boy. Just skipping the intro. Right, so okay, let's go clear again, that's it. Right, so you have a basic menu here. You go to load ROM, and then in this emulator, this is a multi-emulator, so you have original Game Boy, the black and white Game Boy I mean, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, and the Master System. So first off we will go to the Game Boy, just because I'm doing it in order, and we will go to something really obvious, just to show you that it works. Let's see, a couple of different versions of Tetris, we'll go for one of those. And I will just show you, go to render in the menu, go to scaling, click fit, and then hold on a moment, sorry. You don't have to reset the game, but I just thought I would show you it from the start. Now this is a game I could play for hours. Obviously I won't be doing that, but just to show you that it runs at full speed as it should. Yeah, I better exit this before I end up playing it for hours, as I say. Alright, so next up we have Game Boy Color. Let's go to let's see. Yeah, there is the Crystal Vietnamese hack. It's hilarious because of the bad English in it. We'll go to normal Crystal. Again, it stretches the screen and you can make it smaller if you wish to. Again, you can reconfigure all the buttons. You can sort what buttons do what. You can have it screen different size. You can have it run at different frames per second on pretty much every emulator. I'll just quickly run through this. Probably should have picked a more pick up and play game, but just skipping through this. So it runs perfectly well. I was going to show you a battle, but unfortunately this is one of the few Pokemon games I haven't played, so I'm not sure how far you need to get before you can get into a first battle. But you get the idea anyway. So I'll go back to load ROM, and I will go to the let's see, Game Gear. Fatal Fury Special. Again, I've reconfigured the screen to be smaller. So you get the idea there. Master System next. Let's go for Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Trying to punch the bird, but died anyway. But as you can see, it runs fine. That was the last of the emulators, the systems that are emulated within Master Boy. So I will exit that now. Okay, so where were we? Master Boy. Next up, the Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy Advance SP, or any of the other names it was given, I imagine. Hopefully this is showing off all this rather well, perhaps not, but there you go. Selection of letters down the side, again you just pick the letter depending on what game you want to play. So let's go for and then you'll get a list of games down the left there. Pick WarioWare Incorporated, just because it's a game I know how to play and I know I enjoy. So again, you can resize the screen, reconfigure the buttons, everything like that. Yeah, all the levels are unlocked because I've played it previously. So just have a quick little go of this. This is one of these mad games made up of little tiny games. Yeah, so there's all sorts of options in the menu. As I've said, different things you can configure, controls and whatnot from the menu. So I will exit that. I'll try not to stretch this to 3 videos, but if it does go to 3, then it does. So let's see. Right, this up we have the Genesis / Mega Drive and the Sega CD / Mega CD. Excuse me. As you can see in the menu, you've got Mega Drive, Sega CD. I've just called them that because in the UK that's what we call them. But there are games from the Genesis and Sega CD, or Mega CD rather, I don't know. What was I doing? Oh yeah, S. It's my favourite game. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, I included all sorts of hacks of the Sonic games and Streets of Rage and things like that. They're my two favourite games on the Mega Drive, so we'll go with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Runs in 60 frames per second, so it will be a lot quicker. There's a thing in the bottom corner to tell you how many frames it's running. You can turn that off. I won't for now because it's just a short demonstration. So again, you can make the screen square as well if you want to make it more like the original. I'm choosing not to at the moment, but Shouldn't have jumped there. So we go, it's just the first level of Sonic 2 there. Yes, you can fast forward and things like that in these games, so let's see. Just need to go back to the top here. Oh, Sega CD games, and let's play Final Fight CD. I do love side-scrolling beat-em-ups like Final Fight and Streets of Rage, things like that. So you'll probably be seeing quite a few of those demonstrated to show off these emulators. The arcade version of Final Fight is on here, but I'll show you that later. This is Final Fight CD, of course. So that's Final Fight CD. I will just go back to the menu for a second. Here are all the games that are on the Mega CD, Sega CD. The files for them are very large, so I can only include a select few, but hopefully they're the few that most people want. Sonic CD, some of the more memorable RPGs, Earthworm Jim, etc. Next up, a rather obscure Japanese-only handheld called the Wonder Swan. Wonder Swan Colour, normal Wonder Swan, and there are some demos in here too. Okay, so it says in the menu that you can use this emulator for other things such as Game Boy, Game Gear, Neo Geo, etc. You don't need to because the games for those are in the emulators I've already shown. Go to ROM select ROMs, you've got playable demo, you've got the mono games, and you've got the colour games. I'll go into colour games, show you one of those. Go to J. I've picked this one particularly because of something very, very different about this game to most. It's called Judgment Silver Sword Rebirth Edition. And you're thinking, no, it's sideways. No, that's how it's supposed to be. Look, you turn it upside down. You move with the analog stick and fire with the directional button, so you actually use your PSP on its side. Just exit that. Of course, other Wonder Swan games are the traditional shape, but I just showed you that one particularly because it's interesting and so different. Let's see what's up next. Wolfenstein 3D, one of the very early 3D first-person shooters. I think possibly the first 3D one. I can't be sure. I'm sure someone will tell me. Just turn the sound on that. You have Wolfenstein 3D, which has got all episodes. Spear of Destiny, the sequel, that's got all episodes in it. Mission 2, Mission 3, This is a funny Christmas themed version of Wolfenstein, and this is a Halloween, excuse me, this is a Halloween themed version, so I would just go to the original for now. Just put it on the easiest just so I can show you what the game looks like. Runs very smoothly, as you can see. Runs as smoothly as it did on PC. There are console versions of this that don't run as well. I much prefer this version, just because of how smoothly and how well you can see it runs, really. So I'll just exit that. Some games do have their own icons, such as Wolfenstein 3D and such things. Because they're not console versions, they're their own versions from the PC that run on PSP. So next up we have Doom, or Legacy of Doom rather, because there's different games within this. So you've got the Doom 1 demo, Doom 1 the full game, Doom 1 Ultimate, which contains all 4 episodes, Doom 2, you've got the Doom 2 Plutonia and Doom 2 TNT add-ons, all the levels of those, and Heretic, which runs on the same engine as Doom. So let's go with the first Doom. Just to show you it runs as smoothly as Wolfenstein 3D does. I won't show you too many of the first person shooters, just enough for you to get an idea. Cheats are available on this as well. Again, this only looks slightly odd because I'm having to do it through the viewfinder of the camera. I'm a terrible aimer. But LNR strafe, like that. You've got perfect movement, you can look up and down, you can jump. I think these were features that weren't available in the original version of Doom. So yeah, there's Doom for you. Brilliant game. Doom 2 is just as good, of course. I'll just show you the icons for a few of the FPS games, but they work just as well as those two, just as examples. So we've got Wolfenstein 3D, as I showed you. We've got Doom, we've got Hexen, which is very good. Quake, Duke Nukem 3D, or Duke Nukem 3D, depending on if you're American or not. Here we have the MAME emulator, which is the next one. Those were the FPSs, of course. MAME, this is arcade games from the 70s and 80s. MAME on other systems runs much later arcade games, but the PSP cannot run those. I'll just turn that down a moment. Some of the more later and complicated arcade games do run on the PSP. They run on other emulators, which I will show you shortly. Just showing off what the menus look like, of course. This one takes a moment to load. You can see it's still loading with the orange flashing light over here. Of course, the only loading time I didn't show off was the Commodore 64, but that's because that would have taken up the whole video, to be honest, just because that's how the Commodore 64 is. So we have the menu of games here. I'll just quickly go down. You can press the L and R buttons to go up and down quicker in this one. The settings I would suggest are on video SW scaled and set the frame skip to 0. Then press square to begin the game and it will load. This is normal, of course. Again, because this is an arcade emulator, you need to press select to put coins in once it's started up. Yeah, oh, this is Robotron 2084, if I didn't say that already, or 2084, whichever you prefer. So that was a system called MAME, which stands for I should have looked this up, Multi-Arcade Machine Emulator. Yeah, that's it. Whew, I remembered that. Up next is Final Burn. This is another arcade style emulator. A nice little selection of games in it, Japanese shooters, things like that. We'll go down and find a game. Let's see, the one that I put on the menu screen, of course, Warriors of Fate. This video might have to go to 3 parts actually, now I look at the time. Yeah, I might do this in 3 parts. So just pressing select to put coins in. I'll just quickly skip the story there. Another side-scrolling beat 'em up. On this one you get to ride a horse sometimes, which is always good. So just to show you that one. Sometimes it takes a moment to exit the emulator, of course. And I will show the last few emulators off in the 3rd and hopefully final video. So see you then. Goodbye for now.